Hello.
Welcome, or you're welcoming me. I
Yeah,
don't know
we'll welcome you into our booth space for today.
Okay, if you would introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Heather.
I'm Terry.
We're with Hawthorne Country Store.
Thank you for having the signage right in front. This is your advertising, not just the hubby, right?
Wear your brand.
It
Wear
is.
your brand.
Okay, so why are you here?
Well, we're one of the sponsors of this event. We feel very, very strongly about impressing upon people that they can grow, produce, and preserve some of their own food. So it's part of our goals for our stores, and we think that this event helps support that.
Yeah, now this is a big growing area. People don't usually think of San Diego County as growing. You think, okay, sailors and maybe biotech a little bit and surfing and things like that. But we have huge farming and agricultural things here in this country.
And we have more independent farms than almost any other county in the nation.
In the nation, more female farmers and small farms under 10 acres. And So you supply products for that market particularly?
Specifically, right. So anything from a couple of tomatoes and a couple of chickens, like a little scale, all the way up to larger scale, and you really need to bring in full truckloads of feed or supplies. We're willing to work with all of that. We're excited to help with all those things.
Yeah, many people who don't either have backyard animals or even regular animals don't realize that feed store used to be the place where you get in touch with the community because they had a little bit of everything. Is that right?
Well, and we believe that that's still true. And we're not just a supplier, we're a connector. So we feel like it's important to try and connect the people that are making sourdough bread with the people that are making goat cheese. Like, we need both of them, right? That's the best way to make those things happen.
Yeah.
Work together, create community.
Right. Exactly.
Very definitely the case. As a matter of fact, we understand you're in a couple different locations in San Diego. Where are you located?
Right. So in a really amazing agricultural area up in Fallbrook, which is the avocado capital, right? So Fallbrook, and then Escondido, and then our newest location is in Santee.
Santee. So you have a couple nicely spread locations. That's fantastic.
Right. Our goal is to be servicing all of San Diego County.
Yeah.
So we really feel like we have to spread our wings a little bit and get there.
Yeah. Now, when you go into the feed store, it's not, and I'd say a feed store like yours, my experience has been it's not just I need 50 pounds of scratch or I need some hay or some straw, whatever it happens to be. It's, hey, I've got this issue with my chickens and I had mites. What do I do?
Right. That's exactly right. Of course, if you come in and say, I just need my 50-pound leg crumble, we're going to help you. That's fine. But we're probably going to say which leg crumble because there's like 100 choices. But that's okay. Yeah. But we really do feel like we're being a family-owned and run business, and being we're trying to stay small. It gives us the opportunity to gear ourselves as a resource for information, guide you to the right vet, guide you to another community member that does what you do, or show you the products on the shelf that hopefully will work for what you're bringing into us.
Yes, and sometimes in my experience with small feed stores, they don't always necessarily want to sell you something because they know that you're going to come in no matter what, but that if you always know I can go to the feed store, it's a perfect hub. It's a perfect hub to get information or service or whatever, or frankly, it's chick season. So if you don't have an event like this, you can go down and oftentimes they'll have a couple chicks. Do you sell live animals?
We do, and we carry chicks year round because San Diego is an interesting place. We can do it year round. In fact, our second biggest event for chicks is in October, which is a wonderful time to start a flock in San Diego.
Yes, it is. It's fantastic because it's not like we have 20-degree weather usually in most parts of San Diego.
Right. We're really, really fortunate. And we really feel strongly that this is our calling.
Yeah, so how long have you been doing this?
Going on 25 years.
25 years. We started this with my parents. We wanted to do something we could raise our kids, and now our kids have their kids, so we have the grandkids with us every day as well.
Now, I spent a summer not bucking hay, but working in a feed store for my uncle out in almost Alpine area. And boy, it was an education because you have to learn service and you have to learn the realities of life. I mean, the steer out in the back that they had next to the hay bale section was, you'd eat the shake, but eventually you realize that don't make friends with a steer, right? I mean, because it's gonna.
Don't name them.
Don't name them. There's naming and numbering, right?
Sirloin,
yes.
sirloin,
yes. Yeah, so it's great to get a little bit more connected with food, but to also learn some really good lessons about I need to be somewhere, I need to make sure the turkeys get cleaned out for the 14th time because they're going to drown in their water today.
Right.
All that kind of stuff that is really, they're really great life lessons for kids to learn.
I feel like connecting to your food also connects you to the cycle of our earth, connects you to all of the things that are cyclical. But it's no better way to teach responsibility because some other live being is counting on you. They're counting on you to give them the best life.
Yes.
Even if we're choosing to consume that animal, they deserve our best.
I agree.
So with that being said, that's another reason why we support 4-H and FFA. It's another reason why we do the classes that we do. It's another reason why we choose the products we choose, is to give people options that help them do that.
Yeah, and it also teaches planning, which is important because you can't assume that you're going to be able to get feed last minute on a Sunday night when the chickens don't have feed. So you really have to go out and say, hey, I need a feed. Or the hay's not necessarily going to come in magically. If you're going to get a delivery, do you guys deliver hay as well?
Oh, yeah.
We deliver 7
days a week.
Okay, so you can't necessarily say, I want it now. You might say, you might have to say, our next delivery is Thursday, so there's a little bit of planning involved.
Planning, responsibility.
Yes.
And those kind of homesteading skills and why we call ourselves a homesteading supply is all part of that. It's part of the cycle, it's part of planning, and it's part of becoming better community members for our entire big community. Even if you don't continue with that kind of mindset or in your daily life, it still teaches those skills.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you to speak to the person like me that lives, and I live in Claremont, so I'm right in the city, and I live on this little postage stamp that's not much bigger than this booth here. Big booth, but still almost the size of my house. But people often think, well, I'm in the city, I can't grow, but we have chickens, I have a garden, I've got all kinds of things I can do in this really small space.
Absolutely. And you can forage out in your neighborhood. You can trade with other people in your area and your neighborhood. And then you can create preserving of those things also. I mean, there is nothing better than food that you grew and preserved yourself, and then trade that with a friend, a neighbor, build that. So there's we teach a class at one time, it was called 2 Chickens and a Tomato Plant. And it's really about that. It's about doing small scale. And it's okay to do a tiny bit. Even a tiny bit puts you back in that much control.
Yes, and it's lovely to do that unless you grow squash and you are 7 years old and you're told to pick and you're having zucchini squash, zucchini fritters, zucchini...
Right.
All the zucchini everything.
When we were younger, my folks used to grow, and my mom would can zucchini pickles, and you get kind of tired of zucchini, but you realize, you know what? Hey, that was great because that grows really well,
right? And
it's a great thing to have, and you know what? Zucchini pickles are pretty good.
And they are.
Yes, they are.
A long time from now.
Yes.
Well, I grew up, always had canning jars under the bed. Empty or full, there was canning jars. Nobody could ever stuff anything under the bed because it was always full of something.
Yes.
So we want those same things that you're talking about to continue on for generation and generation and generation. We don't want to lose those skills and lose that growth and lose that health. Those are things that's important to preserve.
Yeah, and maybe it's just me, but boy, when you grow your own product, whether that's zucchini or plum jam or that egg, all of a sudden it tastes better and it's precious, isn't it?
It is precious.
And you know what went into it?
You do, and you value it more. I mean, I used to, when we first got our chickens and went out there for eggs, I would come in and you'd bring your eggs in, and inevitably one of them's going to drop and crack, and it's like the whole world has ended. You thought, all that work for that little egg, you and the chicken, right?
Right, and if you raise an animal to eat, if you grow something to eat, there's so much effort, so much time, so much care that goes into that. There's no better way to build value into food than to do that yourself or to participate in it.
I agree 100%. So now I know you have people coming to see you because the fair is starting to heat up. If we could just tell me a couple things that you have here in your booth.
Oh my gosh. So we brought all kinds of chicken treats today and chicken starting stuff, all the different heat plates and feeders and waterers. All of that is good because we hope that people are going to be taking home animals with them today. But we also brought in some of the fun stuff. So like Dovetail. This is workwear made by women for women.
I was eyeing those.
It stretches in the right places. It has all the pockets, so we love those things. And we're featuring our organic feeds, so New Country Organics and Scratch and Peck. These are really important lines to teach people about, so we are featuring those. And then we even brought a little bit of stuff like if you have a problem. So, hey, there was a lady who came up this morning and said, I got some chickens pecking other chickens. What do you have to help that? So we talked about ways to help her. We talked about some management things that she might be able to do that would help her as well. And we came up with a good solution. She's happy. So we feel like we're just outstretching our regular, normal, everyday goals into the Ramona Fairgrounds today.
Fantastic. Okay, so clothing, bedding, hay you mentioned,
Gifts,
animals
shavings,
you mentioned,
I mean,
waters.
it's everything.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
speaking with us. I know
you.
you've got a busy bunch here that's coming through.
We
This is
hope
kind
it'll
of
be a
really
good
fun
one.
thing. Wonderful.
Good exposure day.
Yes.
Thanks very much. Now, I do need to say, if people want to get a hold of you, where do they go?
HawthorneCountryStore.com
Okay.
is the easiest way, and you can find the numbers for all the stores, find the one that's closest to you, all of our contact info and our Facebook and our Instagram, all of that's on there.
Or you just look at this shirt here,
Or
right?
you can,
with your very expensive model you have here.
I mean, long time. I mean, we've been married a very long
Be 30,
time.
31 years this month.
Yeah, that's right.
He's the less expensive in our relationship.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.